Marriage breakdowns in movies usually follow a predictable path. But what happens when a fatal car crash leads to infidelity confessions, and the husband starts befriending all of his wife's new lovers? That's the wild premise behind Splitsville that's completely redefining the relationship drama genre.
Let me tell you what grabbed me immediately about this film. The way it uses that traumatic catalyst to unleash all these hidden relationship dynamics. It's like watching a psychological experiment unfold in real time.
Well, that's exactly what makes this film so fascinating. Here's Carrie, played brilliantly by Kyle Marvin, thinking he's got this perfect marriage with Ashley, and boom, one car accident later, his entire world implodes. The interesting thing is how the trauma becomes this gateway to exploring different kinds of modern relationships.
Speaking of modern relationships, the parallel between the two couples is absolutely mind-bending. You've got this traditional marriage falling apart next to this supposedly progressive open marriage that's equally dysfunctional.
You know what's really clever about that setup? It completely challenges our assumptions about relationship structures. Like, here's Paul and Julie with their open marriage that's supposed to be so enlightened, but Paul's basically checked out of parenting while Julie's stuck handling everything at home.
And the way Dakota Johnson portrays Julie's frustration just hits different, doesn't it? You can see all these layers of resentment building up beneath her composed exterior.
That's exactly what makes her eventual connection with Carrie so compelling. Here's this guy who's technically the more traditional husband, but he's actually more present and emotionally available than Paul with all his progressive ideals. And let's talk about how Kyle Marvin manages to make Carrie sympathetic, even while he's making these absolutely wild choices.
Well, how does someone even pull off playing a character who befriends all of his wife's new lovers without coming across as completely unhinged?
That's the genius of the performance and the writing. They take this premise that could easily veer into cringe territory and somehow make it this fascinating exploration of how people process grief and betrayal. The way Carrie transforms his pain into these bizarre new connections is both hilarious and weirdly touching.
The visual style really elevates all these complex emotional beats, too. Adam Newport-Berra's cinematography gives everything this almost artistic quality that you don't usually see in relationship comedies.
Oh man, those scenes where Carrie's interacting with Ashley's new partners are just masterfully framed. There's this one shot, you know, the one where he's cooking dinner for everyone? It's like this perfect visual metaphor for how he's trying to maintain this sense of domestic normalcy in the middle of complete chaos.
Let me point out how Adrian Arjona brings so much complexity to Ashley, too. She could have easily been written off as just the unfaithful wife.
That's such a crucial element of why this film works. Nobody's purely good or evil. They're just people making messy decisions while trying to figure out what they want. Even Ashley's affairs aren't presented as just simple betrayals, but as these complicated attempts to find fulfillment.
The way the film balances all these heavy themes with genuine humor is pretty remarkable, too.
Well, that's because they understand something fundamental about human nature, that sometimes the most painful moments in our lives can also be absurdly funny. Like when Paul discovers Carrie and Julie's affair, the scene plays out like this perfect tragic comedy of errors.
So what do you think this film is ultimately saying about modern relationships?
You know, I think it's suggesting that maybe we need to throw out our preconceptions about what makes relationships work. Whether it's traditional marriage, open marriage, or whatever weird situation Carrie creates by befriending his wife's lovers, the film shows that authenticity and genuine connection matter more than following any particular relationship model.
The whole thing really makes you question your assumptions about love and commitment.
And that's ultimately what sets Splitsville apart from other relationship dramas. It's not trying to moralize or teach us lessons about marriage. Instead, it's showing us this beautiful mess of human connection in all its complicated glory, while somehow managing to make us laugh along the way. It's like a reminder that sometimes the most meaningful relationships in our lives come from embracing the chaos rather than trying to control it. Unquestionably absurdist, Splitsville sits comfortably alongside another recent darkly comedic release, being The Roses. You could even see the two as mutually satisfying companion pieces, Splitsville scores an 8 out of 10.
You've been listening to Movies First.
Available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favourite podcast player. You can also stream on demand at Bytes.com.
This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.